Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another podcast, the special edition. It's called Contemplations and Conversations. It rhymes and it starts with the letter C. That's why it's a great title, just so you all know. Hopefully, you're all doing well. Happy Tuesday. Happy, day 5,876 of our mandatory staycation. At least that's what it feels like. Hope you're all coping well. Hope you're finding something to do. It's going to be a normal episode, like a normal length, but it is inviting you to have a conversation, and that invitation will be at the end. So, before we start, I want to tell you about a journey that my family has been on recently. It is a find a needle in the haystack sort of journey, one where we've been looking so hard to find a Nintendo Switch. And man, we've been searching for it day after day after day, and we can't find one. They're not in the continental United States, it looks like. And it's so frustrating at times because my wife and I want to play Mario Kart badly. We want to play Mario Kart. That's all we want to do at this point. After the kids go to bed, we go downstairs, play Mario Kart. And it reminded me of a passage, one that I think we all know about, and one that we've heard of many, many times. It's the passage where Jesus talks about a woman who has 10 coins and loses one. And he says that he searches for it and sweeps carefully at the house, lighting a lamp. And then when he finds it, she calls her neighbors over and saying, "Come with me, rejoice with me, I have found my lost coin." And there's been a couple verses that have been affecting me, but this is the one that started this whole process in me, this whole chain of thoughts in me, saying, do I look for lost people in my life? And it's a question that I'm going to ask you. Do you look for lost people in your life? People that you know aren't Christians, do you search them out carefully? And during this COVID time, this is the time to be searching out for people. This is the time. I've had multiple conversations with people who have asked me if this is the start of the end of the world, like in Revelation. And I respond correctly, I have no idea. Because I don't know. But if people are asking that, that means they're scared, they're unhinged, they are unsettled, and they're looking for God. They're looking for something. They may not know what it is, but it's for God. And so that was the first verse that really started stirring in my soul. But then this one came after. This is the Great Commandment. We're in Matthew 22, starting in verse 34. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, he being Jesus, they gathered together. And one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. "Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law?" And he said to him, "You shall love your Lord, your God, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all of your mind. This is the great commandment, and a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend on the law and the prophets." And I know we've said it before, but we say things like, you need to love your God with all of your heart, soul, and mind. And so my question to you is, during this time when we don't get to meet together, when traditional church buildings are shut, when we are isolated from other Christians around us, my question is, do you? Do you love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind? And we know how to love things with those three characteristics. I have 80 board games behind that wall. 80 or so. I'm hopefully playing one tonight. 80. I love board games. I love learning them. I love teaching them. I love playing them. But do I search for God the way that I search for good deals on board games? Do I search for God the way that I look for switches? Do I search for people to know God the way that I look for switches? And these are questions that I think is the blessing of this disease that's going on. The one silver lining that I could find. And that's we have the time now to reflect on ourselves, on how our faith is going. And so I'm going to ask a bunch of questions, and I want you to answer them for yourself. And then we'll get to the conversation piece of this video. But a question for you is this. Since we've had this shutdown of all public places, how has your faith been doing? Have you thought about Jesus recently? Have you gotten into his word? Have you spent time in prayer to him? Have you spent time with him? Or is all of your Jesus-ing at a church building? But we are the church. We are the church. We individually are the church, and we can reach people at this time. And when we talk about loving God with our heart, soul, and mind, when you love something with your heart, soul, and mind, you want to spend time with it every day. I would play a board game every day of my life if I could. But even more so than that, even more so, I want to spend time with Christ. I just read a book called Confessions by St. Augustine, and he went on this lengthy exposition, which I'm not going to read to you, but he said basically, I am longing for you. I am searching for you, and I am searching for you and the knowledge and the treasure of your word. Do we value this book like that? Do we value the Bible like it's a treasure? Do we search for it? Do we comb inside of it to figure out what Jesus is trying to tell us? There's a lot of questions that we have about our own faith. Like, what does it mean to love people like that? What does it mean to serve people? What does it mean to follow Jesus with our heart, soul, and mind? And those are valid questions. Questions that we're going to discover together the answers to. So in this time, and for this podcast, it's a little bit different because it's contemplations, that's the thoughts, and then conversations. So this isn't a conversation what I'm doing now. A conversation is you joining in and talking to everyone else. And so I've been joking about using hashtag Lakeland Youth Group, kind of joking, not really, but now I'm not, because I really want to know the answer to this question. How is your faith going? And that same question, what does your faith mean to you? So there's two questions to answer, and I'm going to post something too. So how is your faith going, and what does your faith mean to you? That's where we're going to start this conversation, because I'm curious. What does your faith mean to you? What does Jesus mean to you? And this is a time that you can reflect before you answer. So I'm asking that you make a video and throw it on either Instagram or Telegram on our chat or Facebook, probably not YouTube. But what does he mean to you? What does he mean to you? And I know I can't just ask for that without a reward of some type. And so I have decided that if I get 40 people to take up that challenge, and so there's both things, 40 people to take up that challenge of posting a video saying, what does your faith mean to you? And the second question, which I'm forgetting at the moment, I'll post it here. So these two questions, if I can get 40 people to do that, and on top of that, get this video, 200 people to watch it, and 200 likes, I will dye my hair bright pink. And I said this at the end of the video because those that watch the beginning and then drop off will never hear it. So, again, 40 people to make a video to respond to that, the conversation piece, and 200 likes and 200 views of this video right now. which means that you're probably going to have to share it. I will dye my hair bright pink. Bright pink. Not like kind of red. Like hot pink is what I'm shooting for. The conversation piece is up to you. So let us know how your faith is going and what your faith means to you. At hashtag Lakeland Youth Group, I will accept all forms of communication, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and text, I guess. I hope you all are having a great Tuesday. I don't know what day it is. I know it's Tuesday, but I don't know what the date is because all my days are meshing together as they are for you. We'll see you again on Thursday, guys. See ya.